Hey there, welcome to day 134 of our BU 365-day challenge to do one thing every day that continuously improves or improves us in some way. So this month, this May, we are focusing on money, finances, financial well-being. We just finished the SOAP framework. Love to know your experience with that. If you want some help and tweaks with applying that in your life, please ask. Whenever you have a question, just message me or ask or Voxer me at Pajama Grandma. It's pajamagrandma@gmail.com, I think is my Voxer handle, but I'm not sure. If you don't know what Voxer is, great tool. It's like a walkie-talkie tool. For me, it's the best, fastest, easiest way to communicate with the people that I serve, because somebody can just ask me a question, and no matter what I'm doing, I'll get notified of it and hear it. And if I'm with someone else, I can just, as soon as I'm free, answer your question or get right back to you. It's just so, it cuts out all the nonsense. It cuts out all the trying to text message. For those of us that have challenges, other challenges, mine's I'm visually impaired, texting is a real pain. And I know you can talk to text, but it never gets my words right. And so I end up sending texts that just make me look like they're gibbledy-gook sometimes. My kids used to tease me, and so I've kind of backed off on the whole texting thing. So what are we talking about today? Today we're talking about financial experts and financial advice. Now, I was thinking about this morning, and it's one of those things, one of those lessons that we learn, and we have to learn for ourselves who to listen to, who to follow, who do we want to learn from. And it's who feels right for us or who we're attracted to in the moment. They have a message or something I've come to believe that I need to learn, I need to understand, I need to hear again, so it gets through my somewhat thick skull and I actually understand or learn the message or have my own epiphany or aha moment to say, oh, that's why I keep doing this, or that's why this is happening, or that's why this isn't working out for me financially. So I went online and I was curious, who are the biggest financial experts and financial gurus today? Now, one thing I love about the internet is it's so easy to find information. Now, if we take out the fact that Google and the search engines have algorithms that keep us from seeing certain things, and forget about that and realize that we just have to do what's right for us, it's easy to find an expert in whatever area you want in your life, but financial has a ton of them. So I just wrote down the top 10 list of financial experts online. I'm going to share that with you. And our action item today is to think about, who do you take financial advice from? Are you going to a financial expert? Here's one of those lessons I had to learn myself. I used to ask the wrong people financial questions and about how to do things financially. Why? Because we're not taught it in school, right? I don't know hardly anyone, if anyone, and maybe there's some schools teaching it now, that teach kids everyday money. How does it work? What does it mean? How do you use it? How do you get it? How do you spend it? How do you balance a checkbook? How do you write a check? Our parents had to teach us how to fill out a check. I never learned at school how to write a check. I learned from my parents. I think it was my mom that taught me. And then I wrote thousands of them for my dad in the business we were in together. So we learn how to write up checks. And then nowadays the computers do it. Now, even simpler than that, we can set our bills up for automatic pay and it comes right out of our bank account. My personal favorite, because of, like I said, we all have our own challenges. We all have to find the things that work for us. So in some ways, technology is awesome. In some ways, not so much. So I found this list interesting. And there's, of course, several lists online. And you can, if you're looking for a financial advisor, a financial expert in any area, you can just go. I will say, like anything else, do your due diligence, buyer beware. I remember when I first admitted to myself that I couldn't continue to do all of my own accounting work early on in my business career and all of my own CPA type work. And I interviewed, I think, 16 different accountants before I selected the one that I was going to work with and tie myself to for a bunch of decades. Why? My dad taught me that once you tie yourself to an accountant, you're tied to that accountant really because they have all your financial information, all of your records for years. And so he had fallen in with somebody that he knew who was an okay accountant, but not a great accountant. I think that, and a great CPA. I think he did a great job doing his taxes, but beyond that, he wasn't someone that he could go to for sound financial advice or guidance, etc. And oftentimes, like anything else, we need more than one person to guide us in an area as broad and big as finance. So I interviewed a bunch of accountants before I picked my CPA. And that CPA over the years saved me literally hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars in taxes that I wasn't required to pay, but I probably otherwise would have paid if I had a different expert. So we want to shop around for our expert. We want to, like me, learn to not just ask necessarily our friends, our family, our acquaintances, our coworkers financial questions and about financial advice and investing, unless because we all have friends and family that are awesome at certain areas and aspects of finance that we can ask for advice and can learn from. My dad was one of my best financial coaches and advisors because he'd been there, done that. He'd made the mistakes. He'd figured things out. He came from, humble beginnings and created everything that he wanted in his life for us as his family and for himself. So each of our situations is different, right? Just like anything else. We have to discern who are the right advisors for us. So our action item today is to think about and then share in the comments below one person that you look to for financial knowledge, wisdom, coaching, advice, guidance, etc. Just share one person, and whoever it is, it is. But if you've got like one person on this list and you really, really love and get a lot of value from them, share them in the comments below, and then maybe even why you look to them, because it can help all of us in the group to get better at seeking out experts, finding experts, deciding who we listen to. And some of these, there's people I get financial advice from that are definitely not on this list. And I have different opinions about the people on this list of 10. I know all these people. I've experienced all these people. And then I looked at another list with a lot of online people. And some of them I've absolutely positively never heard of. I may or may not go look them up. Depends on if I'm looking for a specific type of information. I thought it was interesting that the list included Charles Ponzi and Bernie Madoff, because they're two of the biggest scammers, most corrupt people on the planet. I mean, Charles Ponzi perfected the Ponzi scheme. Gosh, I think it was back in the 1940s, maybe. I don't remember exactly, but it was before my time. But he was so good at it, Ponzi schemes got their name from him. So I guess there's lessons to be learned from him. Maybe we should remember that it's lessons of what not to do, right? Not necessarily lessons of what to do. So who's on this list? Benjamin Graham. Again, he was considered the father of value investing in stocks and undervalued stocks that helped you to make a lot of money and appreciate a lot of value. Warren Buffett was one of his prime students. And if you don't know who Warren Buffett is, I would say Google him, because you should know who Warren Buffett is. For the longest time, he's one of the richest men in the world. I think he still is one of the richest, but there's a whole lot richer, which is interesting to say, right? Peter Lynch was from Fidelity Magellan, and he went on to be an author. Dave Ramsey has got a radio and TV show. He talks about debt-free living. Susie Orman is actually, she had a TV host. She was on Oprah. She was on the Today Show. She is considered, and which I find is interesting, the most recognized financial advisor, financial expert, financial person. I think she's worth like 75 million. So worth listening to, right? She's also the only woman on this list, which I found interesting. Jim Cramer talks about hedge funds, and he had the show Mad Money. I don't know if you've ever seen that on CSNBC. It was hilarious. He gave financial advice, really notorious for bad advice, but really made it funny. He's as much a comedian, I think, as he is a money guy. And then Robert Kiyosaki, of course, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. He is someone I've read and listened to and taken courses from over the years. And then Ben Stein, remember the show Win Ben Stein's Money? It's probably still available on all the different TV shows that we have, but that was a popular show. And then they have, of course, Charles Ponzi from his pyramid scheme, and Bernie Madoff, Bernard Madoff, or Madoff. What am I saying, Madoff? That's an old time police detective show, I believe. So he had the hedge fund scam that caused the 2008 financial crisis, which is really scary. And then I looked up a whole bunch more, which you can do the same if it's something you're looking for. I am not going to share all these because I'm not familiar with, I don't think I know any of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different places and sites. And I have not got personal experience with any of these people or any of these advisors. I only know from my personal experience that it's important who we listen to. You know, when you hire a CFO, if you're building a business, or if you have and take financial advice, again, always make sure that we don't blindly follow anyone else's advice. We always need to think for ourselves and say, does that feel right to me? Does that sound right to me? And it's different than, is this a little bit outside of my comfort zone? It's, does it clash with my core values and my core beliefs about money? And sometimes we've learned we need to re-examine our beliefs about money and how things work because we just don't know. We need to get more information. So that's our challenge for today. Think about financial coaches and experts and advisors. I personally have gotten more financial advice and advisors from people that I'm in an industry with. I look to mastermind groups and coaches that have got the results that I want to get in any area or aspect of my life. So in real estate, Robert Allen was one of my coaches for the longest time, because Robert Allen, if you know anything about real estate, you've probably heard of Robert Allen, was the leader in the industry for decades. So he was my coach for, and that included, right, financial abundance in the real estate industry. Tony Robbins, personal development, Russell Brunson, funnels. I have different experts that I listen to, and it impacts my financial well-being, but I always go for who feels right to me and who is actually getting the results that I want. There are, I think there's probably 1 million financial advisors, or Edward Jones, or whatever other company, is Merrill Lynch still a thing? Different companies and funds. But if their lifestyle isn't what you want, you probably shouldn't be taking their financial advice. I learned that one the hard way as well. Lost millions of dollars in the stock market with my ex-husband, and so during the crashes, the tech crash. So who we take advice from, and don't repeat this, but I don't take financial advice from my husband, my ex-husband, anymore. All right, if I can help you anyway, ask. Otherwise, I'll be with you tomorrow.